If you want a compact camera that produces great quality photos without the hassle of changing lenses, there are plenty of choices available for every budget. All of the cameras in this buying guide have zoom lenses at a wide variety of focal lengths. The majority of the cameras in this guide use one-type sensors, which fall in between the tiny chips used in smartphones and cheap compacts, and larger sensors found in mirrorless and DSLR cameras. Larger sensors offer more control over depth of field and usually, but not always, have less noise. The Sony RX100 VAI is one of the most capable cameras that you can slip into your pocket, primarily thanks to its impressive autofocus. The VAI's lens covers the 24 to 200mm range, its tilting LCD and mic input are well suited for vlogging, and the pop-up EVF is incredibly useful when shooting outdoors. While not amazing in low light due to the lens' slow aperture range, image quality is generally excellent, with pleasing colors, good detail capture and wide dynamic range. The RX100 VAI's 4K video quality is very good, as well. Where the RX100 VAI really stands out is its autofocus system, which is the most advanced of any compact on the market. Just point it at a subject, whether it's a body, face or eye, and the camera will follow it around the scene seamlessly. And it can do this at 20 frames per second. Handling is the main area about which we have mixed feelings. The user interface is complex, buttons are too small, and the body is slippery and easy to drop. The RX100 VAI is expensive for a compact camera, but if you
Hey everyone, I'm Dennis from Canon USA social media team, and today I'm out on the north coast of Long Island, New York with the new Canon PowerShot G5X Mark II. This camera is a great, lightweight, everyday carry camera that complements my main EOS R or 5D Mark IV bodies perfectly. So this camera packs a ton of new hardware and features in it to make it worthy of an everyday carry for me. The first thing I noticed and appreciate is that it now shares the same EOS style menus that I've been used to. It makes it so much easier to switch to my G5X Mark II from my other EOS cameras. So I'm finding the lens to be a really comfortable range for everyday walking around, about the view of a 24mm to 120mm lens in my full-frame cameras. Yes, it is a variable aperture lens, but it is a fast f1.8 at the wide end and an f2.8 at the telephoto end. I can still get a great portrait around 100mm with plenty of background blur. So speaking of portraits, I love shooting spontaneous portraits in AV mode. It just gives me the flexibility to get creative. On the G5X Mark II, I appreciate the placement and ergonomics of the exposure compensation wheel. I don't even need to take my eye off the screen or viewfinder to adjust for my scene. What's more, I can remap exposure compensation to the back dial to mimic what I'm used to on my EOS cameras really easily. That brings me to the pop-up electronic viewfinder, or EVF, that the camera has built in. It's been great, especially on a sunny day like today, when it's hard to see the LCD screen. It has also been great when I shoot macro because I can zoom in up to 10 times in the EVF to make sure I'm sharp. While using the EVF, the G5X Mark II takes advantage of touch and drag AF, which I use in my EOS R. This feature makes changing autofocus points and tracking subjects easier and faster. It was an easy transition for me because I use it on my EOS R. For those who are left eye dominant, setting the active touch area to the top right helps a lot. There are so many more features that I didn't get into, but these were just a few that I definitely want to highlight in the new G5X Mark II. Click over here to check out my next video where I'll take you with me as I explore the coastline more and take some great pics along the way. See you in the next one.
The Panasonic DCLX102 is an enthusiast compact with a 17MP 4/3 sensor that allows the camera to maintain the same field of view at 16:9, 3:2 and 4:3 aspect ratios. The LX102 uses the same 24 to 75mm equivalent f1.7 to 2.8 Leica DC lens and shares the same design, including dials for shutter speed and exposure compensation, plus a ring for adjusting the aperture. The custom control ring can also be found around the lens. The LX102 has a 1.24mm touchscreen LCD and 2.76mm equivalent electronic viewfinder. The camera can shoot continuously at 5.5 fps with continuous autofocus or 11 fps with AEF lock. As before, the LX102 can capture UHD 4K video, which also allows for 4K photo, post-focus and sequence composition features. It has Panasonic's latest picture styles, including the high-contrast L monochrome D mode, to which a random grain effect can be added. The LX102 has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, with the